the word replay and let us know. We do this every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern time. So if you can see us and you can hear us, just hit the chat button, say something in the chat, hit the like button, hit the heart button, whatever you want to do. Just let us know you're here. It's John and Travis here, and we have a special guest with us today, Mr. Kurt Frankenberg of Freedom School of Martial Arts. We're going to be digging into how he was able to actually go from being stuck around 60 students to now he's over 102 and adding more consistently. And it's taken about a year to get to that point. And so we're going to break down that story. It's very encouraging, super inspiring. We got to chat a little bit before we went live here, and I'm looking forward to this interview. It's going to be awesome. So if you can hear us and if you can see us, just let us know. This is going to be a great story. It's going to be a great time here with Kurt. And so just let us know. We're going to be reading the comments as you're watching, and maybe something comes up and you have a question about the process or just anything for Kurt or for us, just let us know, chat it in, and we'll be watching those comments live, and we'll also be watching those on the replay. So either way, you can get your questions answered here. And I before we get into Kurt's story and before we get into all that, I do have a question for you guys that are watching here. So as you're watching this, how many of you would like to fill up your mats like that? What would it be like if you could add a 65% growth to your school in the next year? What kind of barriers would that help you bust through? And maybe you've been out there and you've tried like doing the boosted posts, or maybe you've been relying on your website, or maybe you figured something out on your website to get leads, or maybe you just been relying on the bring a friend, or possibly back, like what we used to do is the door hangers and the print ads and the yellow pages and all the in-house stuff. Maybe you've been doing that. Maybe you feel stuck. Well, that was basically Kurt's story before he found us. And so I'll let Kurt get into exactly what he's been able to implement that's impacted his school specifically. But for those of you that are watching right now, I'd love for you to go into the comments. We live on these comments. We do this live. And because we're not in the same room with you, the only way we can interact with you is in those comments. So let us know if you've been frustrated with getting people in the door, if you've been trying to build a martial arts legacy and just feeling like you're stuck or kind of like need to get into today's day and age with ads, or maybe just struggling with attracting the right students. Maybe you're getting leads and it's just not the right people. Maybe you want to get paid a premium for that quality instruction that you're providing there. Whatever it is, let us know in the comments, and let us know what you've been trying, maybe that hasn't been working. We'd love to see the list in the comments of all that stuff. So please just interact with us. We love it. We usually get a lot of comments on these interviews, which is my favorite part of what we do, is hearing from school owners, actually getting to like press the flesh virtually and really get into your lives and know what's going on. So we love the comments, and looks like we're getting some comments. They can hear us. Kurt, how's it going, man? How are you doing today?
I'm well. How are you?
Doing good. So I love it. There might be a little bit of a delay. I'm not sure what the internet's like here, but we are here to officially celebrate kind of busting through that 100 student barrier in under a year. And I'm excited. Can't wait to get into like how that feels later on the call. But if you would, before we get into some of that, just introduce yourself, Kurt, and share some of your backstory, and then we'll really dive into the interview. So just go ahead and introduce yourself if you would.
Okay, very good. So I've been doing martial arts most of my life. I started in 1975. By the time I was 14 years old, I decided I wanted to own a martial arts school. And when I turned 18, I did. And this was April 1st. It was April Fool's Day, April 1st, 1986. All my buddies from high school, I told them, hey, I'm starting a business. And they said, yeah, really? Is it a karate thing? Yeah. Can I come? Yeah, of course, please come. When you starting? I said, April 1st. And they said, sure. sure, we'll be there. And anyway, so nobody did. Nobody came, at least at first. And I was doing, like a lot of folks, I was doing a 2-night-a-week type of a thing, and doing a quote unquote real job. Assembly, washing dishes, cook, things like that. And I was doing that 40, 50 hours a week. And I was teaching karate three hours a night, 2 nights a week. And if anybody asked me what I do for a living, I'd say I'm a martial arts instructor. So I did go full time in 90. in 1990. And just like y'all were talking about, I did all those things. I did Yellow Pages ad. You had to. It was almost like a clandestine type of a thing. You talk with the rep, and you'd be like, okay, so what's American Kempo doing? What's US Taekwondo doing? And they kind of give you some hints, but they wouldn't give you. Anyway, that was the Google of the day, trying to get the good spots in the Yellow Pages, and of course the door hangers and all that good stuff. In 2000, I experienced something that I hope nobody has to. I got a divorce. I was at that time I had 193 students, and was teaching 38 classes a week. And I was kind of burned out, and it was probably part of what ended that marriage was how much I was doing on my own. And for that reason, I'm now interested in the Legacy Masters Academy. I'm into that. Haven't pulled the trigger yet. I probably am going to have to today. But the point is, in 2000, got a divorce, and deliberetely downsized my 38 classes a week down to a 2-night-a-week operation again. And that's where I was stuck mentally for the next 18 years or so. I did start doing some online marketing, but I was feeling my way in the dark. I did figure out how to hack Google organically, with posts and things like that, to where we got listed #1 in our community without paying anything for that, and that's helpful. But Facebook was kind of a mystery to me, and then just the rules and the way things work was a mystery. Text messages wasn't a thing when in the 90s when I was.
No, I think we're losing the connection there a little bit. The video froze a little bit. I'm gonna stop your video and then let's start it again. This is live, folks. What can you do? We're live.
Interactive.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, he's back. All right. I'm gonna stop. Whoa, we totally lost him.
Well, John, as you're figuring that out, what I really love about what Kurt's sharing and what we're going to dig into even more is there's a lot of school owners kind of stuck. They've done things and they just got stuck where they're at, and breaking through 100 is a goal, or they want to pass on their school to someone young like Kurt was at 18. You're still young, Kurt, but you were younger at 18. And they want to make sure that the 18-year-old isn't going to go through the struggles that Kurt's talking about. So that's, it's not only important for where you're trying to be, but also the legacy that you're trying to pass on. So but it looks like we got Kurt back. So I'm excited to hear more about, where he's been and where he's going to.
I love it. So we lost you kind of right in the middle of, you figured out Google, you were #1 in the community, and then you hadn't figured out Facebook yet. You were having trouble figuring out the rules and just how everything worked.
Right. Yeah. As far as following up with a student or a prospective student, that was different. It's very different now than it was, 20 years ago, even 5 years ago. It's just different. And the interactive, people have just shorter attention spans. Uh-oh. Are you still with me?
Got you. I'm still with you. Yeah.
Oh, good.
You still got us?
Okay. When your faces freeze, then I think, oh no, you're gone. So anyway,
sorry. Maybe
we're having challenges.
Yeah, no worries. That's all good. So I know you had about 60 something students when you started working with us.
Yes.
And we got you up to over 100 using our processes. But how long did you say you were stuck at that level?
Oh, I have not cracked the 100 student barrier for 20 years. Not since I deliberately downsized. Did I?
Wow.
Even when I started to, take it more seriously and put in more days and put in more classes and so forth. I didn't break 100 students until very recently. So it'll be tonight. We're going to sign up 2 more students at least, and so it'll be 107. And so yeah, that's kind of a exciting thing for me.
Yeah,
it's almost like
I love it.
I feel like an instructor again and not a hobbyist.
Yeah, I love it. So for those of you watching, go into the comments, let us know if you know what that's like. Because, you know, when you're stuck, it's hard to think about things like expanding or adding more equipment or adding more classes. If you're stuck and you're just hitting your head on that sort of glass ceiling, it's tough. So if you know what that's like, let us know in the comments if you've been there before and you know what that's like. So Kurt, when you were enrolling students in the past and kind of on that roller coaster of being in that 60 student mark, what were you doing as far as advertising? Like, what was your strategy back then?
Well, the fact that I was getting students from Google was helpful. And I think that, you know, Facebook obviously helped, right? But I think as hokey as it may sound, maybe not to you, but it sounded hokey to me. The theory of the mind exercises, putting yourself back mentally in the driver's seat and thinking about what's it going to be like when I have 80, when I have 100, when I have 120 students, and plugging up the leaks too. You know, folks dropping out because of flaws in your approach or flaws in your teaching style. You know, I think the fact that I committed to this program had a global effect in my mind, in my mindset, because I started to pay attention to things. I think the investment was part of it. You know, it's like, okay, I'm going to pay this much for the
Definitely
to learn Facebook ads, basically to learn Facebook ads. That was all I was looking for in the first place, right? And I've gotten a lot more. I mean, it's you guys seriously under promise and over deliver, and that's probably a good thing for your viewers to hear. But it's the truth. And just starting to put this thing in a not a the other woman, you know, like I've got to justify to my wife why I'm spending almost all this time doing this hobby, and now it's really feeding the family. We took a 11-day road trip, the missus and me, because gosh, over the last year, bringing more folks into the academy and now having more money to pay staff and to I did something like what the Legacy Masters Academy does. I guess I'm not doing it right, but I did something right. But I was able to leave for 11 days, and that was huge. And while I was gone, guess what? Got 2 more students. You know, so you can't beat that. You know, yeah,
it's fantastic.
It feels like cheating.
That's great, man. So I'm glad you brought up the mindset stuff, because you're right. We don't really advertise that a lot, because I think, like you said, people think it's hokey or they think it's silly. And, you know, I've been through pretty much every mindset training you can think of. And I had a pretty unique journey with it as well, where when I first got into sales and marketing, it was everything. And I was like, this is amazing. You know, my mindset changed and my life changed. And then circumstances that were kind of outside my control took that business down fast. And then that destroyed my mindset, and it destroyed my thought of mindset training. So I'm like, that's a bunch of hoo-ha. It's nonsense. I did all that and it failed. And then I was stuck in that for like 2 years. And then a really good friend of mine said, John, you know, I'm listening to you talk and you're having all these struggles. And the biggest problem is your mindset sucks. And I was like, it just hit me. I was like, you're totally right. I'm doing all the stupid things that I used to think were stupid. I'm doing that. You know, I would say like, well, that's easy for you to say, you're successful, but I have XYZ excuses and problems. And it was really my ego. I really had to go, okay, I failed at something and it's okay. Now I need to do the action to put that stuff back together. So I'm really glad you brought that up, because I think people overlook it and people try to skip it. And that's why in every one of our trainings, I go, don't skip ahead, go back and do the stuff, because I know that that's the most important part. If you can get your mindset right and not just like go walk in the park and do a meditation and affirmations, like real work on personal development stuff, that actually reflects in your actions. You know, it helps you with belief. It helps you believe that things are possible. It helps you see the math of things. So I'm really glad you brought that up, because it's so important. And I'm glad it's really good to hear that feedback. We do hear that feedback a lot, actually. Like we sell Facebook ads training, but what the real prize is the, the first week of mindset training that we don't even advertise really. So I'm really glad you brought that up. So,
which is ironic, because the schools that a lot of like Kurt and teach at, if a kid has talent, but their mindset stinks, you're like, hey, we got to fix that. Right. And vice versa. The benefit of martial arts to someone's mindset about their confidence or their ability that goes outside of that. They're coming in for self-defense, but they're leaving with more personal worth. You know, it's ironic because it's an industry that you guys are, you know, in and doing, but so often, just like John had the experience, we think, yeah, that's good for them, but for me, I'm fine, you know? So I'm so glad, you said that, because it is such an important aspect of everything, really.
Totally. Yeah. And it's great.
And buy-in.
Yeah, exactly.
I was going to say buy-in, you know, for example, I've done this for 36 years now. Right. So, I found that you can't charge nothing. If you charge nothing, people don't even show up, you know, and, on the other hand, if you charge something, you know, I mean, I'm not heartless. I'll charge, $179, you know, for the first family member, and 120. I have had some students that, you know, the single mom and 3 kids and wrong side of the tracks and stuff like that, and I'll have them pay $40 a month, right? But that $40 a month for them is something. By the way, I can do that because I'm charging $179 for a lot of other people.
Exactly.
And the fact is that by my committing to this program, it forced me to say, okay, I've got to justify this to my wife. And I said,
and to be,
honey, I'm going to get my, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish.
I was going to say, honey, I'm going to demand my money back if I don't get it back, it back. And then of course I talked myself into a corner. And I did. I got it back. How about that? You know,
I love it. I love it. And that's actually one of the reasons that we charge what we do, is because we know that if we did, I mean, we could probably build for us, a financially stable business, charging less and getting more customers, you know, over the long term. We could probably build financially for us, could build maybe even a more successful business on that model, because there's so many small martial arts schools who could afford less. But what we found and what we know for sure is it's ancient wisdom that says your treasure is where your heart is, right? And so if you put your treasure into something, it automatically pulls your heart into it. So we know that the investment's got to hurt a little bit, because it makes you it gives you success stories. That's all we're after, are success stories.
Right.
We could afford to do this long-term really cheaply, but we won't, for your benefit, not for ours, because we would probably benefit more if we charge less, honestly, because there's more people out there that could afford it. But we know what's better for you, and we only want success stories. I don't want 7 million people are running around out there going, yeah, I bought their thing, but I never did it. Or, yeah, I tried it and it didn't work. We only want people who are going to get in and do what you did and go, okay, it's either I make this work, or I got to explain to my wife, or, you know, why did I spend this money? You know, it's skin in the game. And the same is true for schools too. Your students, you've probably found the students that pay more are better students. And we preach that, you know, it's something that is, it's ancient wisdom, man. Where your treasure is where your heart is. It's how we're wired as human beings. So I love that.
About 20%. about 20% of my students historically over the last 30 some odd years, about 20% of my students will do a paid in full program, right? Where they pay yearly instead of monthly. But not coincidentally, about 60% of folks that actually make it a black belt happen to be those pay in full kind of people.
Mm-hmm.
And what it is they they're actually really committing. They're putting their money where their mouth is, you know. So yeah,
Exactly.
okay, I'm sure you guys want to talk about other stuff. So
no, it's an important
Yeah,
thing because it is such a hurdle. I mean, if you're charging $70 a month, the quickest way to increase revenue is to actually just start charging. And we have a whole process for this that we can share. So comment in the chat if you want to learn how to raise your rates, and we'll direct you some trainings we have on that. But if you're charging $70 a month, the best thing you can do to grow your school right now is increase your tuition, because now you have financial margin to start marketing to then really explode your school like you did. It's really difficult to charge $70 a month and then get 100 students $70 a month. It's easier to charge $140 a month, get to 50, and then have a nice revenue to then market and get to 100 students. So I'm glad we're talking about it, because it's an important thing that I think you pointed out. It's never talked about how it increases the value that people see in it. And it's also, like you said, so many school owners are scared of, hey, if I charge too much, then I'm a commercial dojo, I'm a McDojo, I'm only in this for money. And it's like, well, no, if I charge $179, $200, whatever a month, well, then the mom that is struggling, I can charge them 30, I can charge them 10, and not have to make a sacrifice by my family or other students' value and things like that. So that's really what it's about. If our heart is in that place, then there's no reason we can't be.
Let's talk about McDojo just for a second. Okay.
Yeah.
Because, well, the thing is, I'm a Kaju Kembo artist, right? And black belts in our style don't come easy.
Mm-hmm.
They don't come easy. It took me 9 years. I'm testing a couple of young men that started with me when they were 6 and 7, and now they're seniors in high school, and I'm getting ready to test them for their black belt. So I'm not a McDojo.
Right.
I charge enough, right? I charge enough, but I'm saying that for the benefit of folks that are saying, well, yeah, sure, you're one of those 3-year black belts.
Yeah, selling belts out the back door, and yeah, ranking everybody up just because they came to class and stuff. Yeah, definitely. I mean, we typically don't work with any schools that are like that. In an interview call before they ever even hear about our program, we usually have a pretty good way of kind of weeding that out. And if you're watching that and you do that kind of stuff, you know what? It's probably better that you work on your curriculum first, because the strategies we're going to show you are only going to work if you have a good curriculum. We can help you get students on the mats all day long, but if they're not going to stick around, what's the point? Why do it? So yeah, definitely good point. And so I'm curious. So you've been with us about a year, roughly. Do you know, so you've enrolled, you've grown by 65%. So you've got an extra 40 something students on the mats. And you've probably lost some over the course of the year too, but let's just go with those 40. Do you know about roughly how much you've spent on Facebook ads?
No. I know that the budget is supposed to be $600 a month. I know it's been less. It's been less.
So,
yeah.
So even if
that's how I started. I started with that. And right now I could probably sit in on some of the trainings to really tweak my Facebook ads and make them better. But they are what tipped the scales, as it were. We already had organic, like word of mouth. We already had the fact that we had a sign. We still had Google presence, right? And Facebook just really added some oomph, and the fact that I was taking things more seriously,
right?
It kept more folks in the door, and made more excitement, made all those other things more effective. Bringing more students by Facebook also made the excitement of what this place is work with the other methods, with the word of mouth, and with the Google and Nextdoor, all that.
Yeah, absolutely. Rising tides raise all boats, is what they say.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So, Yeah. So I began with the $600 budget. I actually turned things off because we had a smaller location. All right. And just here recently, middle of August, I had to add 1,200 square feet to a location. So we got a new spot.
I love it. I can't wait to see around their place. You have to show us in a little bit. So what I'm trying to get to right now is, so if let's say you spent 6,000 on Facebook ads, that would have been 600 a month over about a 10-month average, right? And you enrolled 40 students at 179 a month. That's about $85,000. I just did the math. So that's about a 15x return on your investment. Right. So how many of you guys watching would like to put $1 into Facebook and get $15 out? What I would say is we'll probably call the other stuff you had going on a wash with attrition. Because if you were stuck for 18 years with the organic stuff, that's probably was just filling the attrition. So we could probably attribute the growth mostly to the Facebook. So even if it's a 10x return, how would you guys like to get a 10x return? We actually have a spreadsheet. You can punch in a couple of numbers about what you charge and what you should spend, and it'll tell you how to get a 10x return on your Facebook ads. So if you want that, we'll give you that for free. Just comment the word 10x in the comments right now. And you can see the same strategy that Kurt used to get to that point, just using Facebook ads. So awesome, man. That's amazing.
And what I love about what Kurt just said, and what kind of differentiates this from a lot of different things, is it put you in control of your growth, right? If you had an agency running ads for you and you're paying them $1,000 a month, well, you got to keep those ads going, right? Because if you lose 5 students, then what do? Whereas this allowed you to, okay, let me scale up, fill up this space, then turn the faucet down a little bit. And then now I have this new space and turn it back up. It just allows you to really dictate the size of your school, especially being, a single school owner. 30 students in 1 week would be great, but it would also be overwhelming for you to handle. So it allows you to really just kind of keep the knobs where you need them to really facilitate growth consistently, but also provide very good, high integrity, high quality instruction and prepare for growth, right? You see, okay, we're getting 10 students a month. That means in 6 months, we need to start looking at new space or how we're going to add classes. It just allows you to just be in total control of the trajectory of where your school's going, man. I love it.
Thank you. I would say that what you mentioned, the 30 students in a week or in a month, I actually haven't experienced that since the 90s, but I have experienced that. And the thing is, it's a problem. It's a good problem to have, but it's still a problem. So the going back to the mindset thing, right? The saying is, if you're going to pray for rain, take an umbrella, right? So if you're thinking, okay, I
looks like we might have got a little disconnected there for a sec.
Right in the middle of I
really wanted to hear how this was going too. I've never heard this one, so I'm excited for him to get back at it.
Me too.
Area.
There you are. All right, Kurt. We heard if you're going to pray for rain, bring an umbrella. Go.
And that was it.
All that other stuff is probably just supports that point, Yeah. The point is have your mindset ready for the onslaught of new students that you're going to have, because you've got to deal with staffing issues. You got to deal with space, scheduling, all that. So be thinking about all those things, not to talk you out of pulling the trigger, right? But think of it as, okay, when this problem happens, this good problem happens, how am I going to handle that?
Right.
And I love everybody's got problems, and I've got problems right now, but I love the problems I've got now of having over 100 students than having 50, 60.
Yeah,
it's a much better place to be.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys inspired by this or what? I love these kind of stories. I love Kurt's story specifically. If you're inspired, type the word inspired in the comments right now. Let us know if you're like, wow, this is awesome. I love these success stories. Personally, if you love these success stories, you like to hear interviews like this, just type the word inspired in the comments. That's why we do these interviews, is to inspire you. If you're a school owner, these are school owners that have implemented a system that literally anybody can do and have gotten success from it. And that should really get you motivated, right? That should get you feeling like, I can do this, right? We want you to believe that first before you ever even get on the phone with us. We want you to believe like, hey, this is something I can do. So if you are feeling inspired right now, if you feel like this is what I needed to hear, let us know in the comments. It also kind of helps Kurt feel good about being here and spending time with you guys. You know, he just came here of his own goodwill to help inspire you guys. So it's like a little round of applause. Like, yeah, we're being inspired. So if you're being inspired, let us know in those comments right now. Back to you, Kurt. I want to know what it was like when that switch, because there's always that moment where the switch goes off and you start seeing the process getting legs. You start seeing the leads coming in, they're booking appointments, they're coming in, they're paying for trials. The money's coming in faster than it's going out on the ads. You can track it, you see it. Where was the moment where you realized like, this is working for me? Walk me through that emotionally, how that was.
Well, so I mentioned that I've owned a school for a long time, and there was a point way back in the early 90s where I was working with another company, and if I tell you what you guys do for the price that you do is just ridiculously valuable. The outfit that I got roped into, they took 10% off the top, 10% of your gross to coach you and help you and so forth. And it's like a tithe, you know, and I don't think that's where that belongs. But anyway, I saw in that older training way back when they talked about student value and not a person's value, because that's immeasurable, of course. But as far as the students' value that they bring in monetarily, when you break it down, when you realize, okay, over the lifetime of an average lifetime of a student, right? And what your payment is, what is it worth to you? What do you need to be able to spend? And if you realize that spending X, you know, is going to work, right? And do the math. I think it's the spreadsheet that you guys are talking about, right? Is that your getaway?
Yeah, the 10X game plan.
So, yeah. So that breakthrough moment happened for me way back when. It happened for me way back when. I was like, man, if I just spend this much on yellow pages and this much on door hangers and this much on my radio spots, right, I'm going to have a steady flow of students. And the thing is, it just isn't working. the type of media that we respond to is very different now, right? And a radio spot doesn't do the thing that it used to do. No.
No,
door
they still charge
are,
the same for that or more.
Yes. Yeah. So I when I saw your spreadsheet, I was like, yeah, this I understand. This I know. I get it. Right. But when I saw the budget, when you said, okay, spend $600 a month, and I was like, yeah, do that. I'll do that. Duh. Because I know that when I spend it and have the right kind of setup, you know, and that's what you do. You show the right kind of setup. If I spend that and I get the setup, I will get my $600 back this month, and they're going to stick around.
I love it.
It's kind of a no-brainer. That switch went on in my mind in the early 90s, right? And then it switched on again when I saw your pitch.
Amazing.
Awesome.
Hopefully there's some mental shifts going on out there in Facebook land. You guys getting some mental shifts? Let us know. Show us some love in the comments. Let us know if you're realizing this is something you can do. And if you want that spreadsheet, if you want that light bulb moment that Kurt had, we're happy to provide that to you. It's called the 10X game plan. Just type the word 10X in the comments. We'll make sure we get that out to you. This is something that you can do if you own a school. It's beautiful to watch. I love seeing this. Kurt, I'm so happy and proud to see the success that you're having. And what's really cool is that this is just the beginning. There's so much growth ahead of you right now. And I love the what you had told us before we started about the expansion. So while we're talking here, if you wouldn't mind just kind of walking around the school a little bit, give us a little tour.
Sure.
But
yeah, man, that's
while
awesome.
you're doing that, for everybody that's inspired, this is what we do here at Get Karate Students. We help school owners fill their mats with paying students. And as we talked about, we're not looking for the McDojo minded or the get rich quick, do nothing paid. That's not what we do. We're looking for martial arts school owners who are passionate about serving their communities with a great curriculum. So if that's you, and you would like to get on a call with us, it's 15 minutes. We call it a game plan call. We'll set you up with that free call. There's nothing for sale on this call. Kurt actually did this call about a year ago. And basically what it is we'll go through, ask you some questions, and we'll say, like, how's it going in your school? What are you doing to get students? We're going to ask you 5-10 minutes worth of questions. You're going to answer. And at that point, we'll be able to kind of like when you go to the doctor and you go, well, it hurts here and it hurts here, and I'm not sure. And the doctor can go, oh, well, it's most likely this. Here's a prescription. We'll do that for you for free. It's 15 minutes. You cannot buy anything on this call. It's literally a game plan call to help us diagnose what's going on. If you're having trouble breaking through barriers and you want to break through those 100, maybe it's the 100 student mark, maybe it's the 50 student mark, maybe it's the 350 student mark. You've been stuck under, wherever you are, we've helped schools do this all over the map. And what we'd love to do is just show you we can help you by actually helping you by spending 15 minutes on the phone.
How about that?
And giving you a little bit of a game plan, right?
Go.
And so, we'll go over some details. We'll do that for 15 minutes. If it turns out to be something that you look like a good fit for one of our programs, we'll talk about that. We'll set up another call for that. But the game plan call is for you that are watching this that just need a game plan. So just type the word game in the comments and we'll reach out through Messenger to give you that. You'll definitely get some clarity, and we'll show you how much value you can actually get out of working with us, if that's the right thing. And if it's not, we might point you in the direction of some other free resources. We've developed a ton of free resources for schools who aren't quite ready to get started with us, help you get to that point. So definitely, the call is obviously, it's not a sales pitch, because if it was, we'd be asking for your credit card at the end and you literally cannot buy. So that's what we love to do here, is provide value. So just type the word game in the comments. We'll hook you up with that game plan call. We're only looking for success stories. So if we don't think it'll be the right fit, we'll point you in the right direction. So back to you, Kurt. I would love to see the school, and tell me what you're most excited about as you move forward over the next year.
Oh, I'm most excited about developing staff, because first of all, if everything funnels through me, right, then that means I'm constantly busy and putting out fires. But if staff is handling some things for me, it actually gives me the ability to step back and improve things in a non-reactive mode, right? And that's huge. Also, I've started to learn that, hey, it doesn't have to always be about me. I don't always have to be the answer man.
Right.
The answer's in the room. There's other human beings here that have a lot to offer, that are in my corner and love me and love my space that I've created here. And so, why hog all the glory? How about just getting the staff to be empowered, right? So that's what I'm excited about right now.
I love it.
Awesome,
I love it.
Yay.
So show us around. You expanded this space recently, right?
Yeah. So, gosh, I wonder how to do this. So we've got this tarp that covers our mats. I have 70 square meters of mat over here. It's 7 by 10 of those puzzle piece things, but then we had a branded mat
Cool.
or I'm sorry, a branded tarp that goes over the top of it, and it's pretty cool.
Nice.
And then over here, we've got zebra mats, and it's a regulation sparring deal. We do grappling and we do sparring, so we like to have both types of modalities.
That's awesome.
Thank you. Let's see. So as folks come in, this used to be a bank, right? So as folks come in, there's kind of an airlock here. I don't know if you can see the handicapped access and so forth, but you press this door and folks come in, and we have a vestibule. Where you'll see the curriculum is up on the wall, and that's how folks can plan and know what's going to be happening. We have a locker room. We call it a locker room. There's no lockers. Used to be where the ATM machine was, but now we've got stacks of cubby holes and shelves and so forth. I feel like a grown up, with 2 restrooms. Whoa!
Oh, look at that! Wow!
Whoa, yeah, amazing.
And I go. I don't know if you can see. This is kind of cute. You've got
wash your
what
hands.
Does it say underneath?
Just wash your hands.
Whatever,
But
just wash your hands.
It's kind of a Star Wars theme, whether you're Leia or Darth Vader. So let's see. My wife picked out. She was able to find these things on Facebook. Believe it or not, Facebook Marketplace for $50, and one of the students that's real handy was able to install this movie theater seating.
Perfect.
And then we've got an area over here for students to while one age group is waiting for their other. How there's siblings, that train, but I don't have them always train at the same time. So there's a spot over there for folks to do their homework and so forth.
What I love about this expansion, Kurt, is so often we get caught up with expansion mat space, and that's important because it means more students. But the expansion that you've done, not only does it have more mat space, but spaces to facilitate a comfortable environment for everyone involved. That's all for you to work, for parents to be. And it's awesome.
Yes. Well, thank you. Yeah, there used to be just like a few chairs against the wall, and I intentionally made it not comfortable because I didn't want a lot of parents watching.
Right.
that was maybe misguided. I changed my mind about that. So in here we've got all of our Century products and t-shirts and good stuff. There's a spot for our staff to have cubbies, and then look at this. I've actually, I feel like a grown up or something. I've got an office.
Wow, look at that. Chief.
My title, my title was chief instructor, and people just started calling me chief for a while, and so that's the digs. That's where I actually have an actual,
Looks
office.
like you work for a living or something.
Yeah, it's like you have a business.
That's the rumor.
That's cool, man.
That's
great, man. Awesome. Thanks for showing us around there, man. I'm so excited about your future, man. And I'm super excited to see you hit those goals and getting that staff trained up. And, we just couldn't be more proud of how far you've come in the process. And it's just, I love to see the impacts you're making. I love the way that you look at your school and you look at your students. And I love the way that you're qualifying, like even things like student lifetime value. Sometimes we get wrapped up in the math of that stuff. And I think it is important to make sure that we differentiate and we make sure that, of course, you can't actually calculate the value of that person, but it is important to know those numbers for your business too. So it's just great, man.
Right.
And 12 months from now, I'm so pumped to see where you're at. And I just want to say thank you for the inspiration. I know everybody in our group's excited. I'm sure we're getting a ton of comments. I'm having a little trouble seeing comments, but tons of comments, people watching. And for those of you that are here, Kurt is just one of many success stories from our programs. We've actually helped, we just cracked the 400 school owner mark. So we've helped over 400 martial arts schools enroll over 20,000 students, paying students collectively. And really our vision is to build an army of high quality, successful martial arts schools, just like Kurt here, who are great at what they do, and that are known in the community, right? What could be better than that? If you're a martial arts school owner that is great at what you do and you're known in the community, right? So maybe you're already great at what you do, but you're not quite as well known in the community as you want to be. That's where we help you. We just help you get more well known. That's it. It's not that difficult. It's not rocket surgery, as my friend Frank Kern says. It's easy, right? It just requires a process and a strategy. So if you're looking for that strategy and you want some help with that, just type the word game in the comments right now, and we'll see if you're a good fit. We'll ask you some questions. We basically just want to know what's going on in your school, what challenges you're running into, what problems you're facing. And then from there, we'll see if it's a good fit. And if for some reason it's not a good fit, we'll point you in the right direction to where you can get that help to maybe become a good fit, or maybe maybe we just point you right towards someone else. Sometimes people come to us looking for something and we can't provide, and we're just like, here, this is a person that will do better for you. We've done that multiple times. So it's really, if you're looking for the same processes and systems that Kurt here has used to basically grow his school by 65% plus, and really a system that's in place that he can rely on and be confident in and have belief in, then, and if you're looking for that same system, and you're considering working with us and going through that process that he's implemented, or maybe you just have some questions. Maybe you're like, you know what? I'm not even sure if this is going to be a good thing. I just want to know what it is. What do you guys even do? Some people are watching this like, I never even saw you guys before. Right. What do you actually do? Let's jump on the call. It's so much easier, 5 to 15 minutes at the most, just to find out if it's a good fit. We can walk you through the basics of that really quickly, and we'll see if it's a good fit. If not, no big deal. And if it's not, we can give you more resources. Like I said, so just type the word game in the comments right now. Let us know if you want that call, and just so you know what to expect. We're not doing any sales pitches on the call. You literally cannot buy anything. It's literally a 5 to 15 minute call just to touch base. We like to connect. We're human beings. We just want to connect with other human beings. That's all. If you run a martial arts school, you want to grow, we're the guys to talk to. So anyway, any final words, Kurt, before we wrap up here? I'd love to hear just anything else you'd like to share.
Oh, okay. Yes. So when I sign up a new student, I don't give them a white belt. I make them earn it, right? Yeah. So they have to learn 7 techniques. They'll do a jab and a cross and duck and things like that. And then they also have to remember 3 rules. And the 3 rules are: number 1, pay attention; number 2, work hard; number 3, be kind, right? And then in a big ceremony, they get to earn their white belt in front of everybody, and it's kind of a big deal. And one time, a student, after getting their white belts, they said, "Mr. Frankenberg, what's rule number 4?" And I thought for just a second, and I said, "Keep coming."
Nice.
Keep coming. And I would say that that's the only advice that I would say to someone that is maybe in a plateau with their school, is remember how you got to be a black belt? You just kept showing up. Mm-hmm. So keep showing up for your business now. Keep showing up for your business, and start doing the things that you need to do to work on your business, and work on your own mindset rather than going through the motions. That's
great
awesome
advice.
That's my spiel. Yay.
I love it. I love it. Well, I'm so excited to see where you are in the next 12 months. Definitely keep us posted. We want to check back in and see where you're at next year. But once again, man, just thanks for taking the time out of your day to join us here. I know you probably got a million things going on, so I appreciate your time. Thank you. And then for everybody in the comments.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Travis.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And for those of you watching, this is where you get to give Kurt a big round of applause for sharing his story. And the way you do that is you just hit the like button a bunch of times in a row. And on a live stream, the cool part is it like throws up this confetti from the corner, and it just shows us that there's some appreciation there. It's like a round of applause since we're not in the same room, but definitely leave us some comments. Let us know you've been inspired. And for those of you who are looking to work with us, who've commented the word game, we're really looking forward to connecting with you as well. And maybe one day you'll be on one of these interviews and we'll be talking about your success story. Wouldn't that be cool, right? So as we wrap up here, just one more invitation. If you need help with setting up Facebook ads, how to follow up with leads, how to get people on the mats, breaking through growth barriers, attracting the right students, getting paid a premium for your instruction, or building a legacy, and you really just are looking for a way to grow your school, just type the word game in the comments right now, and we will reach out through Messenger. You'll probably hear from Ignacio, who's our program director, or from Travis or myself directly. So we will, set you up with that call. You'll get a ton of insight, bunch of value just by getting on that call. So the final time I'll say it, just type the word game, GAME, in the comments right now, and we will reach out. Thanks for joining us today, everybody. We had a great time. Absolutely awesome. Thanks again, Kurt. It's just such a blessing to have you on here, man. And for those of you watching, I hope you all got a bunch of value out of this and enjoyed it. Hope you're inspired. And that's all we've got. So we will see you here next Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern, right here in the group. Have a great day.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, John.